March 15th. With Subriel Matias and Teofimo Lopez, another New York guy.
That's gonna be a good fight. I like Teo, man. I like Teo. Very. He's got to be. Listen, I think Teo could win that. Will win that fight, but he's got to be on point.
You got to be on point.
Because Matias, I don't know how he lost to this other guy, but when Matias is on, brother, you got hell in your hands. But I think Teo can handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
think
think
he
that
can handle it.
you think Tio would win that fight?
Yeah, he'll win
Like
it, but it ain't gonna be. It's not gonna be easy.
it's not gonna be easy.
It's not gonna be easy now, unless Teo walk him into something. And get him up out of there. Then it's a different ball game. But but you got to walk him into something. You got to get him in position to walk him into some dangerous shit to get him up out of there. So
He's training with Eddie Reynoso for this fight. Do you feel like that could be a great attribute?
I think right. I can't say yeah and I can't say no.
Okay.
I can't say yeah and I can't say no. Uh, I think if it's his first fight with Eddie, he shouldn't take a tough fight.
Well, we got Matias.
He shouldn't do that because what's going to happen is, or could happen, is that Matias is going to put him in a situation where he's going to have to do what he learned or go back to what he knows best. I'm saying Matias has a style to do that because Matias, when he puts that heat on your ass, believe me, he gets strong as the fight goes on. But uh, but it all depends on what Reynoso is working on with him. But if he's doing something different in the fight, if it comes down to the trenches, Teofimo don't want to be caught between what do I do this or do I do that? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it all depends on what they're working on with Eddie, to be honest.
That's a that's a good take because you're 100% spot on with that. If he gets uncomfortable, which Matias does get fighters uncomfortable, you're gonna go to what you're traditionally, used to. Especially like you're with a new coach. Like,
Yeah.
is the what is it? Is it the belief system of just like listening to the voice?
It's not it's about you try something different. And it might not work in the beginning, but now you're starting to come around to getting it. Then boom, you put on a fight. And the first time it don't work, you don't have tomorrow to figure it out. You got to figure it out right then and there. You know what I'm saying? And right then and there is when you got to make that adjustment. And the key is, how does he make that adjustment? Can he make that adjustment? You know what I mean? So if he can do it, which I believe Tio can, I believe he can do it. You know what I mean? So I think that Tio needs a fight like this because all the other fights he's been winning easily.
Mm.
People say, "Oh, it was boring." Yeah, because Tio came out, set the tone, and that was it. You know what I mean? So I think that a fight like that, if Tio's able to make those adjustments, it's gonna be a good fight for Tio. But he will win. He'll emerge victorious for sure.
Do you think that goes the distance?
Yeah,
Mm. So it's
unless
gonna be a
Tio
war.
unless Tio walk him into some shit. Now Tio's kind of slick now. A lot of
Right.
people sleep on him. He's very slick. People underestimate him. He's very slick. And you slip up if you want and get caught with something, that's it.
Yeah, and he has fast feet too.
When he beat Lomachenko, I told people he was going to beat him. And people laughed at me. I said, I'm telling you, he's going to beat Lomachenko, man. I said, I'm telling you, he's going to beat him. And everyone was like, no way. I said, okay. I said, I'm telling you, that kid can fight, man. So,
Right.
you know what I mean? So I just wish him the best, man.
I think that's a very explosive fight. Just it's a title fight. Tio has the title, and just to know that he wants to fight that guy, you know, um,
Nobody wants to
salute.
fight him. Nobody wants to fight Tio.
No,
You know what I mean? Because, you know what I mean? Nobody wants to fight him. So for him to step up and fight Matias, I got to give it to him, man, because that's not an easy, going to a new trainer, taking a fight like that. You got to respect the man. You got to.
100%. Like you, and obviously, just the person Matias is, he's gonna take any fight, no matter who you are, right? So we understand that it's an easy fight to be made, and like you said, nobody wants to fight Tio. Like, was it a shocker to you that him and Haney didn't get the fight?
No, I wasn't shocked.
No.
I mean, no, Tio can rumble, man. I mean, Tio can fight. He's the real deal, man. And it's a shame that he's a guy. He's willing to fight anybody. Nobody wants to fight him. You know what I mean? Even the bigger guys, but the bigger guys are realizing, like, look, I'm a little too big, man. You know, I mean, you're 135 pounds, 40 pounds. You can't come up with these 160 pounders, brother. This is, I mean, you're jumping the big bridge here. So, for him to step up and fight Matias, you got to respect him on that, man. I do anyway. I respect the hell out of him for doing that, man. Going in with a new trainer, taking on a fight like that.
It's crazy. But salute to Tio, man, because that's real
Yeah.
deal, man. That's a
Oh,
real
without a
deal.
doubt, much respect to him, without a doubt.
Because he doesn't, and people would say, yo, he doesn't have a lot to offer, but in your reality, when you look at the fight, we're gonna get a hell of a fight. And
Like Tio, he's like Canelo. He fights up to the ability of the opponent.
okay,
That's Tio. So a fight like that, Tio's going to rise to the occasion, man.
he gonna
He's
wake
going
up
to
for
go in
that
there.
one.
He's going to go in there and do what he does best.
Mm,
A lot of these guys, he comes out and he takes control early, and then once he takes control, these guys can't deal with him, man. He's got too many guns for him. And people's like, oh,
right.
the fight was boring. It wasn't boring. It's that the guy couldn't do shit with Tio. Tio took control, and that was it. Had to
What do you
turn on my
think?
porch. Had to turn on my porch light. Man, it was getting dark.
Hey, so as far as like keys to victory for both fighters, what would you say they would
Tio
be?
got to box him, and Matias got to have a good defense. He's not. He can't walk in on Tio like he did everybody else. Now,
He
you know
got
what I'm
that
saying,
pop. Tio got the
yeah,
pop.
he got pop, and he's got that sneaky type of pop. You know what I mean, so
Quick.
it's going to be interesting, man.
I like it. Yeah. You said that the bigger guys don't even want to fight Tio. Do you feel like like him wanting the Terrence Crawford, the Jerron Moat Ennis? Do you feel like why do you feel like those guys don't want to fight Tio?
It has nothing to do with say like his ability or them being scared of him. It's about those guys are like, okay, we fight him, we beat him. They say we was too big. He was too small. You know what I'm saying? He's like the small kid on the playground wanting to fight all the big guys. You know what I'm saying? So and a lot of guys, unfortunately, what I mean, if he fights a Terrence Crawford, right? Just say Terrence says, okay, I'll fight you. How many people are going to be interested in that fight? As good as they both are, as good as Tio is, as good as Terrence is. Who's going to be interested? A lot of it doesn't
A lot of
draw.
people won't. Yeah, a lot of people won't buy into it.
Exactly, exactly. And I respect Tio for calling out the big guys, because ain't nobody else calling nobody out.
Hmm.
I mean, nobody else is calling out none of the big guys. So I respect Tio for that, and I understand Terrence Crawford's point of view. You know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah, I agree to fight you. I beat you this. So you was 154. He's a lightweight. You beat it. You know what I mean? Or they say, well, who's going to buy that fight? You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you get guys different weight classes too good. It's like you're going from 135, 40, 47, 54. And against a guy like Terrence Crawford, that's a big jump. And I respect Tio for putting that out there. You know what I'm saying? But the guys are saying, what am I going to gain by fighting him when the Turkish guy, the Turkey's going to give me, not Turk, but the Turkey, Al Sheikh is going to give me X amount of dollars to fight this guy. They're going to take that. So by him fighting Matias, I think him fighting and beating Matias will open more doors for him.
Yeah, yeah, I
Sometimes you got
agree.
to show these guys that you mean business. So if he beats a guy like Matias, and if he stops Matias, then everybody's gonna want to fight him.
Whoa, whoa!
You know what I mean?
Tio
And
stops
he,
Matias, that go crazy. Everybody gonna go
but
nuts.
he has that ability and that pop to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He can walk Matias into some shit. So he does that. Now all the other guys at 135 want to come to 140 and fight him now. So it's a good fight for him. He wins it. It's a great win for him. It's the win that could turn his whole career around.
Now, keys to victory for Subriel Matias, and we all know what this would do for him.
He wins that fight. The winner of that fight kind of changes the course in the 140-pound division. You know what I mean? No one's going to be talking about Garcia and the rest of those guys anymore. They're going to be talking about the winner of that fight because again, you have the best fighting the best,
Mm.
and that's what boxing should be about: the best fighting the best, man. Ali fought Frazier. You know what I mean? And listen, Ali, 3.5 years, he comes back, fights Jerry Quarry, fights Oscar Bonavina, two tough guys. Then he fights Joe Frazier, the heavyweight champion of the world. You know what I mean? He loses, but what does Ali do? He comes right back, wins the
Mm-hmm.
title a couple years later, fights Joe Frazier again in a non-title fight, beats him. Fight was eh. Then they had the Thriller in Manila, which to me was one of the greatest heavyweight fights, one of the greatest fights, really, of all times, man. I tell every young fighter, you want to be a fighter? Watch the Thriller in Manila. Don't watch it for the skill. Watch it for the will and determination. Watch and see how these two guys mentally took their bodies to another level. And ask yourself, could you do that?